Mental health in the Jamaican society. Hey guys, welcome back to Shelly's Jamaican Bickle and Lifestyle. I didn't do a video today, but here I am tonight doing a video to add to my YouTube channel. If you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe, set your notification bell, and drop a comment. So, in tonight's video, I'm going to speak a little bit on mental health in the Jamaican society, which is oftentimes pushed under the rug. Growing up in Jamaica, we used to hear people say people mad if people act a certain way. Moving away from Jamaica and coming to live in the United States of America, then I started to realize everybody was not mad. It's a situation that has been pushed under the rug oftentimes. No attention is given, no education is given, but we tend to mark people off as being mad. And there are totally different situations. As a Jamaican growing up, I remember in the little rural community that I grew up in Clarendon, I saw persons that were walking on the streets that had mental issues that some family members did not really sought to take up in hand. And I think that today also, still in Jamaica, there is still a stigma when it comes to mental health. And the stigma is not a good one. It's not a healthy one. There are signs, there are symptoms when it comes to mental health. When I just came to the United States of America, I started to realize that it's not everybody mad. As in Jamaica, we would stigmatize or classify that somebody is mad. It just meant this person had issues that they were unable to control. And a lot of times when they have these issues, they either turn to drugs, they turn to some form of mechanism that will allow them the opportunity to cope even better. So their way of coping was different from ours. Their coping mechanism was they would turn to maybe drinking, sex, taking pills, and people would consider them being mad. Now, coming to America, I realized that you had people who were mental and you had persons who were suffering from mental health issues. A while back during COVID, I used to do some sessions on my YouTube channel during COVID. COVID was a time when mental health was on a meltdown. Mental health was on a high during COVID because people were locked in. People were not able to go out, express themselves. Everybody was under house arrest during COVID. You know what I'm talking about during that COVID era. The loss of lives also helped to contribute to a lot of Americans having even more mental health issues. One thing I can tell you this country does offer is mental health problems. Mental health problems. Since this week, I've seen a couple videos on YouTube where bloggers were talking about people returning back home to Jamaica and having mental health issues. And I've seen quite a few too from time to time. People will talk to them. A lot of people were deported back to Jamaica back then, and they continue to send them home that came here and had some form of meltdown, some form of mental health issues that were never addressed, that were never looked at. No attention was given. So from one thing led to another, it continue, and these people suffer. And as Jamaicans, we laugh after them. But I'm here to tell somebody or tell you today, mental health is real. During COVID, I felt my mental capacity and my mental health was getting on a low where I felt like at one point not being able to do things or to get out there, it did start get to me. So I started my YouTube cooking channel because once I got my camera and I started to cook, it took my mind off everything. Mental health is real, depression is real, and a lot of people suffer from depression. There are different types of depression. You have type 1, type 2, type 3. There are different levels of depression. If you have a child or even a grown adult suffering from depression, that can lead to mental health breakdown. Depression in its mildest state can lead to big mental health crisis. People can commit suicide. People can go out there, become vicious, become violent. Lots of people don't really know how to go out there and even operate when they see a crowd of people. A lot of people are scared to do things which they probably used to be able to do before because they're going through a mental health crisis. There is help out there. If you seek help, check on your children. Sometimes they're not talking. Sometimes they're very quiet. Some of the times the games they play to works on their mental. A lot of times some of them, they are not strong, they're weak. And then in this world, in this environment that we live today, where we see all sorts and different types of things happening, one, or children are being bullied at school, that can lead to depression, which can lead to the child inflicting wound onto him or herself. Two, that can also lead to one wanting to take one's life. Three, it can also lead to going to school and getting in a problem with other kids. As parents and as grown-ups, we have to take care of ourselves, one, and make sure that our children and others that we're surrounded by, family member, friends, even our foes, that mentally we see the need to make sure we encourage and help our brothers and sisters when we see them going down that trajectory. Mental health is real, and mental health don't mean say somebody mad. I am a living testimony. I can tell you, I felt I was at my breaking point during COVID, hearing about the deaths, having to go out and clad myself in a mask, having to go out there to experience some things. A family member working in the healthcare system. You're home, you don't know what is gonna come home. There is so much going on in the world today. Some people can deal with it, not everybody can deal with it. A lot of people migrate from Jamaica and come to America, and coming here has caused even mental health sickness upon children who came here and came here with a sound mind. Come here get in a trouble, come here not able to manage peer pressure, come here and for whatever reason they mesh with the wrong people, get influenced by the wrong crowd, following the wrong crowd, and then they eventually turn to drugs because other people are taking drugs as a coping mechanism to help to fight their urge and also to fight whatever feelings they're having, which some of them they're not able to talk about it. They don't have family members that they can talk to, maybe not a mother or a father. They're suffering, so what they do is they turn to an outside source or outside friends who they feel they are able to open themselves up to. So we have to be careful of how we label people, for say people, and I would not even use the term mad because it is derogatory. I will say someone with a mental health issue, which they probably have to medicate themselves. One, two, they are in a facility getting treatment. 3, they are a threat to themselves and to society. And I'm going to tell a little story in another part regarding mental health and how coming to America, I found out that one of my child was having mental health issues. So remember, mental health does not mean you're mad, you're written off. Mental health is that you're going through a crisis. You don't know how to cope either with environment, you don't know how to cope with the situation. It could be financial, it could be spiritual. You're not able to deal with this on your own, so you turn to external forces which might come up against you for the bad, instead of finding someone who you can find comfort and hope in, to reach out to see how best you can get help. Stay tuned for the next part in this. Jamaicans returning home, mental health issue. How much can one mental capacity really be able to withstand in the world that we're living in today? I enjoy these talks. They're not TED Talks, and if you know what TED Talks are, this is similar to TED Talks, but I love to talk with you guys. Drop comments, share your views on my whole take on some issues, lots of issues, not only Jamaicans moving back home. I have a lot, and I'll be posting them as lifestyle vlogs on my YouTube channel. Unlike, I also do cooking videos, so check them out. Like, subscribe, drop a comment, and stay tuned for part 2.